Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now this video really is for newbies to a degree, or people who haven't been for a long time maybe, but basically it's to help you try not to get addicted to bar girls. By the way, that firecracker sound you just heard is from across the other way. I'll just show you. They set off Chinese firecrackers all the time here. Now I know from the comments that quite a few of you guys are going to be popping your Pattaya cherry this year, and you've watched all the videos and you think you're prepared for what's about to happen to you when you get here. But even though you've watched all those videos, believe me, you will be bowled over. By the way, you see that little circular cabin thing? That's where they set the firecrackers off, and that guy's got a whole bunch in his hand and he's going to go down and set them off. So I'll leave him to it and carry on with what we're saying. I mean, the first time you arrive in Pattaya, you'll see all these girls all over the place, not just in bars, but on the streets, in the shops, in the markets, everywhere. And for single guys, it's just like you arrived in paradise. And in fact you have, for as long as you have the money. I mean, your emotions will be overwhelmed, really. You probably have never experienced anything like it before for you, the first time you come. You're going to go through an emotional roller coaster. Now, you guys that have been through that already and you understand it all, please make comments to help the newbies understand what they're getting themselves into. Let me just interrupt the chat for a second to tell you where we are and where we're going. But this is the viewpoint, which is where the Admiral statue is, and the shrine and everything there. That's the Admiral there. And we're going to have a little look round here. This is popular. This gets Chinese tourists. It gets everything. It gets very busy. This is very early in the morning. This is about 9 o'clock in the morning, if I remember rightly. And it still had quite a few people here. But I'm showing you this, and then I'm going to take you then on the bike to the other viewpoint, which most people have no idea how to get there, but I'll show you how to get there. And then we're going to go to another viewpoint. So there's 3 viewpoints we're going to go, and we're going to have a chat the whole time. Okay? So let's carry on with what we were saying. Now, what you'll have trouble getting your head around is just how natural it seems here in Thailand. Working girls here are so completely different to working girls in Western countries. I mean, you take 2 examples which I've been to, and maybe you have, which is Amsterdam and Las Vegas. And when I was there, I felt like it was just very businesslike and cold and emotionless. And that's obviously the way it's meant to be. The first time I ever came to Pattaya, I was utterly gobsmacked with how different it was. It's obviously the culture here. It's friendly, it's fun, it's like a normal great night out with the guys, but you're just paying a little extra for a little extra company. And considering everyone else around you is doing exactly the same thing, it makes it seem absolutely normal, and there's no guilt or embarrassment or anything. In fact, you forget that you're with a working girl. It feels like you just picked up one of the best looking girls you've had for years on your first night. Now, this feeling like you just picked up a girl is what Pattaya is all about. This is what the culture's all about. This is why guys get addicted to Pattaya. It feels like you're on a date, which is emphasized by the fact that when you leave the bar with her, after paying the bar fine of course, many guys will take the girl out for a meal together, or maybe a nightclub, and go drinking together and have fun together, just like you would with a girlfriend. And then she'll start calling you darling or tilak or something, and it makes you feel good. And then you go back to your hotel and have an amazing time, and next day, maybe if she stays the night, you maybe have amazing time again. But this is when you then hit reality, because you have to cash up, you have to pay. So that's the difference in the way it feels. The difference in the way, if you go with a working girl in your own country and you go with one here, it feels completely different. It really does. And you won't understand that until you come. So this following morning, you have to make a decision about whether you're going to say thank you very much and goodbye, and stick to the 1 day rule, which a newbie should stick to the 1 day rule. Never mind the 3 day rule, it's too long, in my opinion. Or are you going to get emotionally involved, which you probably may be already a little bit, That's the way it gets to you. Or are you going to become a butterfly? 1 day rule every day. And just enjoy yourself, Don't ignore these rules, because you're putting yourself at risk of becoming emotionally involved with the girl, or should I say this working girl, which is what she is. If you decide to spend a second night, a third night, and so on, and she starts to open up to you and show pictures of her family and talking about everything and what have you, you can get hooked. You don't realize it until it's too late, but you can get hooked. And what happens then? And then you spend the rest of your holiday with the same girl. You don't go all over the place, different girls, different times. You end up with one girl all the time. You're having a great time, but it's not what you came here for, really, is it? By the way, I'm just taking you down the hill back down onto Pattaya Road, and we're going to go left, and I'll show you the way that very few people know how to get to the next viewpoint, which is the Pattaya Scene. Okay, and we go left here. This is how you get to the Pattaya Scene. There is another way from the other side, of course, but we will in fact go back that other way, so you'll see both ways. But this is the way, the easy way to get to the Pattaya Scene. Okay, so what were we talking about? If you let her stay all the time, it's like you've got a new girlfriend. She's sleeping with you, you're going out together. Sometimes she cooks for you, you're going out getting drunk and dancing and everything together or whatever. And it's completely different to any other working girl relationship anywhere in the world. Thailand, completely different. A thing that you need to remind yourself constantly is that it's all an illusion. You've got this girlfriend, and you've got to this girlfriend stage very quickly, because she does it for a living. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to press which buttons and when and what have you to accelerate the girlfriend fantasy. And if she feels you've got a soft heart, then there's a chance that she can stay with you for the rest of the vacation, for a week, 2 weeks for each, whatever it is. And there's a good chance that she can turn you into a sponsor as well. And one of the things about staying with you is it's easy work. It's work. Don't forget it's work. But it's easy work. If you've got one guy, she's not going dancing all night, every night, on the poles and all the rest of it. And she's not going with different customers who treat her badly or whatever. She's having an easy time of it. So that's what she wants. Right. Here we are. Now, do you know where we are? This is the Pattaya Scene. This is where we are now. I'll show you. There's actually sort of a heart thing on the right-hand side, which is for people who want to make Instagram selfies and all that business. There's that monstrosity of a ghost tower that needs demolishing. It's just so ugly. It really needs to be demolished, but no one wants to pay for it, as I understand. So this is where people do little pictures, Instagram pictures or whatever. It looks quite nice. I think they've done quite well there. And then if you just come down here, and then you come down to some steps, and it takes you down to the Pattaya Scene. And as I said, people don't know how to get here. They think you can walk up from the bottom. You can't. You can walk around, but not up from the bottom. So we'll go down and we'll have a look and just see how many tourists there are here. But this time would be about 9:30, roughly, I would think. There's the P for Pattaya, yeah. So this is about 9:30. So just see how many tourists there are when we get down here. Just going on briefly onto this issue of sponsorship, you may ask yourself, why would any sensible guy send money to a working girl, every month? Well, some guys fall in love easily, especially if they've never had a girl press the right buttons before, and they don't want their girlfriends working in a bar and going with the customers. When a few thousand baht a month means she can go home and live with her family. Right, where are we now? Oh, that's busy, isn't it? Absolutely packed with tourists here. That's what I mean by people don't know how to get here. This is exactly what I mean. Yeah. Great view, eh? And not crowded. Just that ghost tower in the way. Could do with getting rid of that. But you see the view? Nice, isn't it? You can see Lam Chabang in the distance with the cranes for the ships and everything. So I'll have a little walk down here, and let me just have a quick little chat about sponsorship, because it's just guys think they're doing the girls a favour. Sending them home to their village. The girl doesn't want to go home to a village. 90% of them love Pattaya. They love the nightlife. They love going out every night, and they make very good money. And they have all the different guys and all their mates, and they like going to bar hosts, which they all go to. I mean, I was speaking to a girl the other day about bar hosts, and I said to her, out of all the girls working in this bar, how many have been to bar hosts? And she said, everyone. Every single one. There's not one girl working in. There must have been about 100 girls in there. So there's not one who's not been to a bar host and spent money buying guys drinks and all that. That's the way it is. That's the culture here. You got to understand it. The girls love being in Pattaya. They want to be here. They don't want to go home. If they say to somebody, "I'm going," send money, I'll go home, they'll make some excuse why they have to come back. Trust me, they'll come back. They won't stay in their village. And even if they did stay in the village, the thing that most guys most of these white knights forget is the fact that she's now amongst ex-boyfriends and guys who fancy her and fancied her for years and never got the chance, and now here's the chance to come back again, and guys that she's been with many times, friends. I mean, she probably gets more in the village than she would in Pattaya, to be quite honest. So don't think for a moment, you white knights, that you're sending her there to save her for you, because that's just absolutely wrong. Totally wrong. Okay. Anyway, tell me what you think of the view. Good, eh? Nice view. Let's carry on what we're saying. And if you do end up getting hooked with the girl and staying with her for most of your holiday, just before it gets to the end of your vacation, then there's one last thing that she'll want from you. And that will be some gold. She'll say something like, she will miss you so much, she'd like to have something that she can look at and think of you, and a gold ring would be a lovely thought. She can look at it and think of you. Now, bar girls know that Western men consider a ring to be a symbol of love or belonging. So she'll use this emotional connection to get you to buy her a gold ring. And the bigger the ring, the more love you have for her. Something else you need to know about Thailand is that gold is so pure that it's used as a second currency. and any gold bought from any shop can be returned to any other shop and sold for cash instantly, anytime she feels like it. It's just like she's wearing cash on her fingers. That's how pure the gold is here, and that's what people do all the time. They chop and change. They'll buy a bracelet, and then they'll get some more money, and they'll have a bigger bracelet. They'll just take the first one back, and they'll lose next to nothing on it because it's so pure, the gold, and the weight, and it works off the price of the weight, you know. And then they just add some money and get a bigger one, and so on. Equally, if they want to, they can just get rid of the whole lot, and they have a massive lump of cash. So as soon as you've gone, she can just take any gold that you bought from her back to her shop and turn it straight away back into cash without losing hardly any money at all. Maybe just a few baht, very little, because it's so pure. Yeah. So what else? I mean, this is an insurmountable problem, the fact that you don't live here. That is the major problem. Obviously, some guys do retire, do come live here, get jobs here, whatever. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But it's a major problem because you're in your own country, and long distance relationships very, very rarely work. So really don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be going down that road, okay? Come here, enjoy yourself. Don't get emotionally involved. Don't go with the same girl every day. Change the girl. Change every day or two. Change, even though you don't want to. Change, okay? Just to save yourself the heartache, because it will be a real major problem when you finally come to leave. That's going to be a heartbreaker. You're going to be really, really upset about it. It's not a situation you want to get yourself into. Listen to what I'm saying and what other people have said. If you don't live here, don't have a girlfriend, don't become a sponsor and everything. Don't do it. It's a major mistake. Don't do it. It'll cost you a load of money, a load of heartache. Come here and enjoy it for what it is. It's a fantasy land. It's like a Disneyland for guys. Don't think of it any other way. Don't think it's real, because it's not. Okay? Now I'm just going to take you from the viewpoint now. This is the other way to get here. Okay, this is the road that leads out the other way, and you'll see where this comes down. We're going to drop down the hill, and we'll come down to the last viewpoint, which is actually it's the same place where I made my video. You know, my sunset video. At the end of all my videos, I put a sunset video on. This is where I made it. I'll show you now where I made it when we go down the hill. But this area is particularly nice. Let's just have a little word about how you'll feel when you get back home. Because if this is your first ever Pattaya holiday, you know, you'll go back to work on Monday morning, and that's when the reality and the depression really can kick in. I mean, this was just the best vacation of your life. It seems like a dream, you know, but a life-changing dream, because you can get addicted to Pattaya so easily, and there's nowhere else you would ever consider going. Now you've discovered it, you know, and you will choose. What you'll do is first chance you get, you'll be booking to come back. That's what you'll do. I mean, I remember when after my very first trip years and years ago, I just couldn't wait to get back. I really couldn't. This is the way it is here. And now it's a little bit more expensive than it used to be. I agree with you, with what people say about that. But if you do have the money, I don't know of many places that are better. I really don't. This is exactly where I took my sunset video, over there. and it just behind Koh Larn, and the sun came down. You see the video at the end, and that's where I took it. And here, just down here, is the lighthouse. Now the lighthouse, people have seen it, but not many people bother going to it because it's a bit of a trek from Ballyhigh Pier all the way up here, unless you've got a bike, of course, or something. But a lot of people do come here. It's quite pleasant, quite nice. There used to be a cafe here, but obviously the cafe died in during the pandemic, you know, and it's never. There were 2 cafes here, but I mean, there are nothing like the number of tourists here that there used to be. Nothing like them. Not even close. I mean, talking about before about tourist numbers in another video, it's nothing like the numbers that there were in 2019. Nothing, not even close. I mean, less than half. Anyway, that's the other viewpoint. This is really quite nice here. So, time to go on to a story, I think, before we finish. Yes? You want a story? Okay, let's do a story. Now, I promised you guys a story, which is from my hairdresser friend. Now, as many of you guys will know, I have a hairdresser friend who has a shop on Soybecow, just off Soybecow. And most of her clients are working girls, and they chat to her and confide in her and tell her everything about what happens, and then she tells me, and then I tell you guys. Yeah. So this story is about the shop, which is about next door, but 1 or 2 to my hairdresser shop. It was a beauty salon, but it didn't work. It just was a failure as a shop. It has a small apartment upstairs as well, which is handy. So it was up for sale. Now, after a few weeks, a pretty young girl and her full-lang boyfriend came to view to buy the business, including all the furniture and stock and everything. The young girl was in her 20s, and she had an American boyfriend who was in his 40s. It looked like he's in his 40s. So they spent the remainder of his vacation tidying up and renaming the shop with new signage in the girl's name and getting it ready to open straight after the guy went back home to America. So the opening day came, and they had a few monks come round, and they blessed the shop and the business, and then the next day the American boyfriend left for his long trip back to the States. Now, the next morning, as my hairdresser was opening her shop, she saw the new, pretty young neighbour opened her shop, or pulled a shutter up, and the hairdresser thought, oh, she's opening the shop early. But she came outside and then closed the shutter and locked it. And she had a small bag with her. And then my hairdresser friend turned around and looked to see that there was a taxi waiting outside. And my hairdresser then realised the girl had not stayed in the shop, in the apartment upstairs, but had just come back to pick up a bag. Then a young foreign guy got out of the taxi, came over to the girl and gave her a hug and a kiss, and the driver picked up the bag, threw it in the back of the car of the taxi, and the couple, hand in hand, got in the back of the taxi and went. 2 days later, the girl came back, and she reappeared and walked into my hairdresser's shop, asking if she can do hair straightening, which they do. So that my hairdresser friend got chatting to the girl for the first time properly, and it turned out that the girl used to work in a go-go on LK Metro for a couple of years, and before COVID, and she met an American guy back in 2019 who was in his 40s. When the first lockdown came in April of 2020, he helped her out because she couldn't work. and she went home to Buriram for 2 years, or over 2 years, and he sent her money every month to support her. And a few weeks ago, he came back, and they reunited in Pattaya, and stayed together, having a ball in Pattaya. While they were together, the girl told the guy that she didn't want to go back to work in a go-go, because she's in love with him and she doesn't want another man. And she wants to open a beauty shop in Pattaya. And she convinced him to buy her the shop next door but one to my hairdressers. Then she never needs to go working in a bar ever again. So my hairdresser friend said, "But what happened the other day when you disappeared for 2 days with a different guy?" "Oh," said the girl, "he's really handsome, isn't he? I met him in Ibar the night before, and he wanted to take me to Koh Samet for a week. But I told him I could only go for 2 days because I must open my shop. But really I had to be back for when my boyfriend could call me again after his long 24-hour trip back to America." So that was several days ago. Since then, the girl is staying in the apartment above the shop, but the roller shutter is never more than halfway up, and the shop is never open. But every evening about 10 p.m, another very attractive girl arrives, who is the first girl's best friend, and the two of them call a boat taxi and go off freelancing to Ibar. By the way, the girl did make a comment to my hairdresser friend about Americans. She liked Americans. So my hairdresser said, "Why? Are they JD? Have they got good heart or what?" "No," said the girl, "not that. Because the time is so different. Night here is day there, and day here is night there, and not easy to make video call and get caught." So that girl's got it figured out, hasn't she, eh? That's where we've just been. We just walked along there and up that bit, that raised bit where the city is. So you know how to get there now. You go round the side, round the back to get there. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please have a look at Patreon. It's getting very popular and it's really good. It tells you everything that happens in Gents Clubs, and also the Soy Sticks are crazy. They're crazy, those videos. And please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell. And thank you for watching. I shall see you on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.